Threats for an aviation stop work refuted. Rebuilding of UPNG and Unitech to cost millions. And former Attorney General stresses good governance.
This is the National EMTV News with Lorraine Gabina.
Good evening and welcome to Monday's news. A call by Captain James Markop, representing the aviation industry, and human rights lawyer Moses Murray for the Prime Minister to step down within 48 hours has been refuted by a number of state-owned enterprises. Executives from Edirano held a news conference this afternoon to clarify their position. The 48-hour ultimatum called on citizens to stop work on Wednesday this week, but this has been rejected by Edirano, PNG Air and NU Guinea. Adelaide Curry reports.
Today, flights were cancelled in the New Guinea Islands, where 200 passengers were stranded at the Ley Nazep airport. New Guinea is yet to confirm if this has anything to do with the stop work protests. Meanwhile, at Edirano, rumours of Edirano shutting down water in the nation's capital have been shrugged off by the Edirano CEO.
Edirano, we are not part of this, and we will not play, we will not play any part of it. As a utility company in supplying the city of Port Moresby with water and also discharge and manage waste, these are basic and essential services that we deliver to the people of Port Moresby. So we will in no way take any part in this.
While President of Edirano Staff Association, Kalim Tamari, has assured that Edirano workers are united and will not sabotage water supply nor join the stop work protest planned for Wednesday.
We will not be a party to the strike action. We will not hold the city of Port Moresby to ransom.
Meanwhile, NU Guinea today posted on their Facebook account that flights and services will be normal, while PNG Air has also confirmed that flights and services will be normal on Wednesday. Tomorrow, a three-man Supreme Court bench will make the ruling on whether or not to recall Parliament to debate the vote of no confidence. Adelaide Kari, National EMTV News.
The Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, Malakai Tabar, says fixing the damages at the UPNG campus will be very costly for the government. Minister Tabar says his ministry will be making a special submission to the government to seek funding to fix the UPNG before the 2017 academic year begins. His comments come after the university's council suspended the 2016 academic year following escalated tensions at the university.
The state, through its higher education ministry, has tried to save the academic year and allow it to continue despite the student unrest, but the university's council has reached a decision last week to end the 2016 academic year early. The cost of the damages caused after the students' wrath is now on the hands of the government to fix. The Higher Education Minister, Malakai Tabar, says the cost of the damages is yet to be put together, but his ministry has already begun knocking on doors of other government departments to secure funding to repair the damaged infrastructures at the university.
You burn one building down, we are going to cry back to government, and I literally mean we're going to cry back to government. Honestly, me and my secretary, we have just been crying. The pro-vice chancellors, the vice chancellors of universities, we have been going to planning, we've been going to finance, we've been going to the prime minister, we've been going to treasurer, just asking them for money.
The Office of the Higher Education is awaiting a report from the University's Council that will contain the total cost of damages. The Higher Education Minister is also expected to make a special submission to the government to seek funding from the 2017 national budget.
It's a difficult task, and I am in the forefront of this, and I'm going to continue to ask government. And government, please take heed of this and respect this department and the universities.
The Higher Education Minister, meanwhile, has brushed off criticisms from the public who have criticized the government and the UPNG administration on the action taken to close the highest learning institution in the country. Tabar maintained the government's stand that the early close of the academic year is to restore peace at the university and retain its repute in the Pacific region. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
Meanwhile, the Higher Education Minister Malakai Tabar says the 2017 academic year for UPNG will begin early. Grade 12 school leavers who will be selected to attend UPNG next year are expected to begin their first lectures in early January 2017. Minister Tabar says the suspension of the 2016 academic year has posed serious implications on the operation of the university as well as the students' academic performances.
We'll basically start a lot earlier 2017. So I guess straight after your new year, legally kai, please let your child go. You might have to be called up. There will be notices on the paper. You might have to come the first week of January. But the normal academic year for 2017 starts in March. So the normal intake of students for 2017 from the current grade 12 crop of students, that will still be normal.
A retrial of Komomagarima MP Francis Potape started today. Potape was charged for 1 count of conspiracy and 2 counts of misappropriation. However, his charge of conspiracy was removed by the state prosecutor this morning. The state alleged that on November 1st to the 13th, 2010, Potape, then chairman of the Komomagarima Joint District Planning and Budget Priority Committee, dishonestly consented with members of the committee and dishonestly applied a sum of 330,000 kina sitting allowance. The state alleged that these are public monies that belong to the development of the Komomagarima people. From the total, 60,000 kina was alleged to be paid to Potape and the rest to committee members, including the district treasurer. Mr. Potape pleaded not guilty to these charges. The trial will continue for an indefinite period until all witnesses testify. Good governance and principles of democracy were the key message by PNG National Party leader and Sinasina Yongumul MP Kerenga Kua. MP Kua said for the better governing, people must understand the role of leaders should carry out. The former Attorney General expressed this at the opening of the National Party provincial office in the Goroka Eastern Highlands province recently.
For the past 3 weeks, the Sinasina Yongumul MP Kerenga Kua has been visiting the Highlands provinces to educate people on the principles of democracy and promote good governance. Recently, he visited the Eastern Highlands capital with Manus MP Ronnie Knight to meet people and local leaders. With the current political turmoil, including the outstanding court battles and the vote of no confidence debate, the former Attorney General says it is leaders who must be responsible in decision-making which can make the difference.
Na mibla sana pontem, na mibla ino put in break. Attempt lo put in break, lo escalating corruption, mismanagement, lack of governance. Country this la you me look him, you me enjoy him, you me love him, by no more.
Following the students' unrest and power struggle by politicians, Kua says individuals can now have a choice for the right candidate in the 2017 general elections.
It's now time to make the hard decisions now. Starting with the right source of a political party, right source of the candidates you will vote him, and the right policies.
The Sinasina Yongumul MP called on the Eastern Highlands people to choose leaders who can fight for good governance, exercising of democracy and prepare a better place for PNG's future.
Although what him up kind level you can possibly work him, you must work him, so that you must save him Papua Nigini, now put him in a direction where he must go, he goes in and good. Now you must build him good future, blogger picking in you Karim land.
Kua then officially announced the opening of the party's office.
The National Party office inside the Eastern Islands may declare him open.
Their next visit will be Jiwaka province. Jack Lapave Jr. National MTV News.
National MTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Lay District Court last Friday adjourned the case of Lucas Martin, who allegedly raped and murdered 21-year-old Henrietta Jimmy on the 27th of this month. Henrietta Jimmy, a grade 9 student at the community college in Lay, is from a mixed parentage of Manus, Isipik and Morbe. Her body was found in the Makam River on May 26th after she was missing for 2 days. Magistrate Jeremiah Singomat adjourned the matter as files for this case are not yet ready. The defendant will remain in custody awaiting his next court appearance. Nationally owned helicopter company Helifix welcomed a new wing to its fleet recently. The state-of-the-art 17-seater arrived in Port Moresby from Australia and was welcomed by staff, management and other stakeholders. Helifix owner Robert Agarobe says the new wing comes due to the high demand of the oil and gas sector explorations.
At around 11:45 a.m. on Friday, the new Augusta Westland 139 arrived at the Helifix hangar and was anxiously welcomed by the Helifix staff. Owner of Helifix, Robert Agarobe, says the oil and gas sector is developing at a faster rate and the use of helicopters is becoming a demand.
A lot of the bigger industry players coming in, we've felt that this market, this aircraft will, this helicopter here will have a placing in the industry here in PNG.
Commonly known as the AW139, it is a state-of-the-art machine, built with an intermediate twin engine and setting the benchmark for safety design features in multi-role operations.
It'll carry its max load even if it loses one engine. So even if it has an engine failure, a single engine failure, it'll still hover, it'll still climb out of the situation, yeah. And that's what makes it unique to the rest.
Agarobe says despite purchasing it, more training for local staff is needed with close supervision by CASA. The AW139 is the first of its kind in the country.
And we're always looking at newer ventures to get into that have never been sort of touched before, and bringing a new type like this, aircraft of this capability and this category is a very big plus for us.
From time to time, the helicopter industry has seen a steady growth. However, Agarobe says it is an industry that needs support. Helifix has now 18 choppers with 12 in operation, including 4 fixed-wing aeroplanes.
So we're pretty sure that it'll have a place here in the market, and we're excited about it. And you know, we are all ready to go.
The AW139 will carry 15 passengers and 2 operating crew. The new wing will commence operation in 2 weeks' time. Jack Lapave Jr., National EMTV News.
A local level government in Menyama District, Morbe Province, is still lacking road access to basic services. Kapau LLG currently has 7 aid posts, 7 primary schools and 8 elementary schools serving a population of 15,000. However, it is still very difficult to get materials across to this population because of little to no road access. Former Councillor John Aweto says nothing has been done to improve the road condition since independence.
Me stand up strong, asking Prime Minister, 100 million. Why am you helping me? How much can help him? Also, me ask him, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, put him 100 million straight in the idea from me. Na road mass stop, na me play ka coffee. Lo karim coffee kam lo lay, how pa me play karim kam. Me play ka garip, me play ka Quebec, or kanke gas club, lo market stop.
Newly elected NABAC LLG President J. Ford Marvel is adamant that he will deliver the services lacking in his short term before the next election. The 26-year-old, who is the youngest president, says human resource development and road infrastructure are 2 priority areas he is looking to improve. Marvel was declared president at 4 p.m. last Friday after beating rival Jimmy Kepas by 283 votes.
And one big plus something we need to build more classrooms, our staffs, teachers' house, airstrip must come back. Airstrip been closed long time. Road them one something we lo strong blom yet minona, but how we can talk inside long PC na government lo gawana can stop want to cooperate without one can difference and I can help him build him road.
And now looking at our finance news, the Kina opened unchanged at $0.3160 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying $0.3085 US dollars, $0.4050 Australian dollars, $0.2762 euro, and 30.72 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold and cocoa closed higher, while coffee and copra closed the day lower. Palm oil and crude oil closed lower, while copper closed the day higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 228 points higher. The ASX is trading at 173 points higher. The All Ordinaries is trading at 0.6 higher. We'll have more stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Australian voters welcomed the end of a marathon election yesterday, but opinions were mixed over Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull's retention of power. Turnbull declared victory earlier in a marathon national election, with his coalition government retaining power and the opposition Labour Party conceding defeat.
Vote counting continues into an 8th day, with Turnbull's coalition expected to win 2 of the 5 seats still in doubt, enabling it to form a majority government after having already won 74 of the 150 lower house seats up for grabs in the poll.
Well, I mean, it's not exactly unexpected, but I think he's actually been given a bit of a shock that, you know, it wasn't a landslide and this is not us saying you can do what you want. He has to do what the people want.
Although he is expected to form a majority government, Turnbull's gamble in calling the election backfired badly, with a swing to the centre-left Labour opposition and a rise in the popularity of minor parties and independents. Turnbull's narrow margin of victory over Labour leaves him likely to be forced to rely on independents who won 5 seats to ensure the passage of legislation. That raises questions about how effective his government will be in the long term.
Well, it's a poison chalice really, because his biggest problem is a hopelessly divided party, and the knives will be out to get him because he didn't do well enough in the election, because they were expecting that he was going to have a very strong win, and of course it's just a very narrow victory, and so you just wonder how long his leadership can possibly last.
The coalition will form majority government if they secure 2 more seats to reach the magic number of 76.
In Iraq, Baghdad residents are still recovering from one of the city's worst ever terrorist attacks. Nearly 300 people were killed by an ISIS truck bomb just over a week ago.
As if Baghdad didn't have enough already, there's another shrine to the dead. The buildings gutted by fire from the worst ever terrorist attack in this city, now festooned with posters of the more than 300 who died that bloody night.
Few cities have been bruised and battered by war like Baghdad, but despite it all and against all the odds, the residents of this city refuse to surrender. Baghdad's pet market has seen its fair share of attacks. The worst in 2008 left more than 100 dead. Yet it's still in business. Only God knows why. We just put up with it, says Karar, showing the scars from that attack. Fayez has been making bird cages since he was a teenager. He takes the long view, and in Iraq, the long view goes back thousands of years. The cycle of life must continue, he tells me. Iraqis don't know the meaning of defeat. We've been carrying on since the days of the Assyrians. For 40 years, Zohair has been selling tea. He lived through the Iran-Iraq War, the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait, the U.S.-led invasion and occupation, civil war, and now the war with ISIS. It's all starting to weigh on him. These are bitter days, he says. Explosions, there's no security. You leave home and you don't know if you'll return. Yet he carries on. Perhaps it's resignation, perhaps fatalism, or perhaps Muhammad puts it best. We have the patience of Job, she says. And in this city, patience is not so much a virtue as it is a necessity.
In the United States, a report tonight of the gunman who killed 5 policemen in Dallas, Texas last week. The gunman planned an ambush, and it happened as protesters were marching against the police killings of black men. The gunman clearly practiced a military-style plan of attack.
In the CNN interview with the Dallas police chief, David Brown provided some of the most chilling and descriptive details of the standoff and the tragic shooting from last Thursday night. The chief says that after the shooting erupted, his officers started following Micah Johnson inside the El Centro College building, at one point following him through a stairwell before he was cornered inside the second floor of a building there, leading to that multi-hour standoff. The chief says that Johnson wrote on the ground or on a wall with his own blood the initials RB, and investigators are still trying to figure out what that is a reference to. They haven't figured that out yet. There was also some other writing that he had left in his own blood as well. And then the police chief also says that Johnson requested that he would only speak with a black negotiator there at the scene. All of this while Micah Johnson continued to fire rounds of shots at the officers who were there inside the scene. The police chief describes Micah Johnson as someone who is very much under control, yet delusional, at times singing and laughing at the officers, asking about how many of the officers he had been able to kill throughout all of that scene. And the police chief also says that there's clear evidence that Micah Johnson was mounting an arsenal and perhaps had an even bigger planned attack, but for some reason switched and decided to make his attack last Thursday night. Those are some of the details revealed by the police chief in an extraordinary interview with CNN.
Thousands of Venezuelan residents where a severe economic crisis has caused unprecedented shortages of basic goods crossed the border yesterday to neighboring Colombia to buy food and medicine, taking advantage of a temporary border opening. Although Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro ordered the closure of the border to crack down on smuggling, it was opened for 12 hours.
The federal government provided no further details of the measure. When asked, a Venezuelan foreign ministry official said he had no information on the subject. Thousands of Venezuelans spent the night outside the San Antonio del Táchira customs office in anticipation of the opening. Some traveled hours for the opportunity to buy much-needed food, medicine, and basic goods.
Estamos pasando hambre, estamos pasando necesidades. No hay mercado y donde venden el mercado se forman unos desórdenes que la gente se estropea unos con otros por comprar cualquier cosita.
Sí, anticonceptiva, pero tampoco hay leche, tampoco hay pañales para los niños, entonces ¿cómo hacemos? No hay nada. La situación de desabastecimiento es cada vez peor. Yo me gustaría que el presidente Maduro viera estas imágenes y se diera cuenta de lo que nosotros queremos. Estamos cansados del socialismo, a nosotros no nos gusta el socialismo. Nos encanta el capitalismo y nos encanta tener de todo. Vivir como viven las personas aquí en Colombia, que se dé cuenta de él cómo son las cosas. ¿Qué es lo que está pasando? ¿Por qué esta humillación? ¿Por qué cerrarnos la frontera? ¿Por qué no dejarnos pasar? ¿Por qué tener que hacer colas para comprar lo que sea?
Local journalists estimated over 15,000 people crossed the border. Millions of people spend much of their day in long lines at supermarkets and shops to try to buy basic items amid shortages caused by a decline in oil revenues in Venezuela, a country that imports almost everything it consumes and tight controls exchange and price.
Trukai Sports is next. We'll have all the details after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. PNG sprint queen Toya Whistle stamps her mark once again by running an Olympic qualifying time of 11.29 seconds, just 300 of a second under the qualifying time of 11.32 seconds. Running her 23rd 100-meter race of the year, the multiple PNG national record holder has been preparing well with her coaches Alison and Tony Fairweather. Whistle 28 demonstrated her ability to run under 11.3 seconds back in 2012 London Olympics when she clocked a time of 11.27 seconds in the Heat 1 after leading American sprinter Allyson Felix for the first half of the race. The SP-PNG Hunters will return this weekend to the Intrust Super Cup Round 19 following a bye last weekend. Hunters will play second place Redcliffe Dolphins in Brisbane on Sunday. The PNG boys are currently sitting comfortably on third place.
The weekend off with a bye has earned them an automatic 2 points. The Hunters are now on 26 points, a total of 11 wins, 5 losses and 2 byes. The SP-PNG Hunters are placed third on the Interest Super Cup ladder after the impressive win over the Tweed-Hat Seagulls in their round 17 clash. The Burleigh Bears topped the ladder with 27 points.
They score early and just keep piling that pressure on.
The Redcliffe Dolphins and PNG Hunters share 24 points apiece, but Redcliffe has advantages on points difference and secures the second spot, while the Hunters are on the third spot. Followed closely are Townsville Blackhawks and East Tigers on 23 points apiece.
This afternoon, knock Insiuni up against Insiuni.
Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
The Rugby League World Cup 2017 Organising Committee will announce the tournament draw during simultaneous events in both Australia and New Zealand on Tuesday, 19th July. 14 nations will play 28 games over 5 weeks in 3 countries from the 27th of October to the 2nd of December 2017. The announcement of the Rugby League World Cup champions will be witnessed by Rugby League executives, including Kumul's coach Michael Marum and captain David Mead. To Rugby Union, PNG Scrum Junior Development Manager of Morobe Province, Robin Tarere, said PNG Rugby needs to create a suitable and an effective development for our clubs, schools and pathways program. He said the PNG RFU requires a structured development program to give a whole transition from first touches of a rugby ball to senior rugby. This provides players a lifelong participation in the sport that players can be involved throughout their rugby career.
Tarere said there is a need to move to a player-centered development approach. This means that players' needs take priority before those of the coach, manager, administrator, parents and supporters. According to Tarere, PNG RFU needs to document a structured development pathway that provides a favorable opportunity for competitive rugby at all levels of the game.
Any shortcuts in developing rugby? Rugby, when we develop a sport, there needs to be a pathway for the players. And players are the most important people that we need to look after.
A player development plan would ensure that players and coaches are equipped with the knowledge and skills to help maximize players' potential at the appropriate stages of their development. This can only happen through structured programs that are guided by PNG RFU.
The development of the players from the grassroots is the key to success in the future of any sport.
Tarere said in his 30 years experience in the sport as a player, coach and administrator, junior development program is the way to promote and support rugby in elementary, primary, secondary and tertiary institutions in this time. Mata Luis, National EMTV Sports, Ley.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back. The Oceania Sports Education Program training that began on Saturday at Sir John Guy Stadium will end tomorrow. The 3-day training aims to boost productivity in 4 levels: community-based coaching and officiating, sports organization management, Olympic sports management, and sports executive masters management.
In the Level 1 training on community administration and coaching, 19 participants, including officials and coaches from Sports Foundation and PNG Olympics Committee, attended. Level 2 training is based on sports organization management. For this, another 20 participants from various sporting codes attended.
Running the first ever Oceania Sports Education Program for coordinators of all of these courses. And there are 3 girls who are doing that with me. OSEP, our people are very, very happy with that.
Ravusiro says the overall aim is to change the mindset of coaching and officiating and for all to be athlete-centered.
We're really, really happy because this is the biggest ever gathering in one place, one time, for our people to undergo these courses. The participants are mainly from the national sports federations. We have 13 national sports represented in all of the courses, with 3 presidents of swimming, Elizabeth Wells, judo, John Jambet, and Kinivanagi Karo with badminton. And they are presidents of national federations. We're really, really glad on behalf of the Papua New Guinea Olympic Committee and Mrs. Rapila and Sejon and all, of course, my colleagues from Oceania, OSEP.
The Olympic Sport Management and Sports Executive Masters are advanced courses by the executives of various sporting codes. The courses are timely as some of the participants will utilize the skills acquired in major sporting events such as the upcoming PNG Games. The program will end tomorrow. Dinero Shriko, National EMTV Sports.
The weather details is next. That's coming up after these short messages.
Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
Your weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow: in the southern region, chances of evening showers developing in Port Moresby, fine and windy in Daru, a few thundery showers in Kerma, fine in Alotau, and thundery shower or 2 in Popondetta. In the Momasa region, all centers are few showers and thunderstorms. In the New Guinea Islands, Lorengau expecting a shower or 2 with thunderstorms and chances of brief showers in Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul, Kimbe and Buka. In the Highlands region, a shower or 2, then morning fog in Mount Hagen, brief showers, then morning fog in Goroka, Mendi, Wabeg and Kundiawa. Forecast for small ships for the next 24 hours: a strong wind warning, current for all coastal waters of southern region and also Finchafen through Vitia Strait and Dampier Strait, CSE Islands to Long Island. Water of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island to Kerma, to Yule Island to Hood Point to Samarai Island, seas 2.5 to 3 meters. Waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, seas 1.7 to 2.5 meters. Waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel to Finchafen, with waters of Finchafen through Vitia Strait and Dampier Strait, CSE Islands to Long Island, seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters. Waters of Long Island to Medang to Bogia to Wewak to Aitape to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border, with waters of New Island to New Britain to Bougainville, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Ocean forecast for PNG areas: in the Coral Seas, rough seas with southeast winds of 25 to 34 knots. In the Solomon Sea, seas light to moderate with southeast winds at 10 to 15 knots, increasing to 20 to 25 knots. In the Bismarck Sea, seas moderate to rather rough with southeast winds at 15 to 25 knots. In the Pacific Ocean, seas slide with a northeast to southeast winds at 10 to 15 knots. Now recapping our main stories for tonight. Threats for an aviation stop work refuted, rebuilding of UPNG and Unitech to cost millions, and former Attorney General stresses good governance. And that's the news, sports and weather for tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Lorraine Gabina. Pleasant viewing. Good night.